We're halfway through Q2 of 2026 when we get asked all the time, how is the market? So let's answer that question. Hey everybody, Joseph Goslan with Eureka Business Group, your retail navigator for the Dallas-Fort Worth market. And today we're going to talk about the question we get asked all the time. How is the market doing? We're halfway through Q2 of 2026. It's unbelievable how fast time goes by. And there's a lot going on in the market. We have a war in Iran. We have interest rates are going up because the US Treasury is going up. There's a lot going on, but there's still a ton of activity. So let's talk about what we see in the market and figure out where it's going, or at least try to. The first question we always get asked is what is going on with the interest rates? And right now the interest rates are a little bit high because of the war in Iran. The 10-year and 5-year US Treasuries are nearing 4.5% and they are not stopping. That obviously impacts the commercial interest rates in the market. We see interest rates move around 6 to 7% these days, depending on the bank and the asset class and the borrower, of course. That doesn't stop buyers from buying. That doesn't stop sellers from selling. It just means that the market needs to adjust to the new interest rates. We do see a little bit of the investors sitting on the sidelines trying to figure out, is it going to go up or down? Right now, we're not expecting to see any significant rate cuts till the end of the year. The market is not pricing more than 0.25% till the end of the year. And for the first time in a long time, I'm hearing people talking about possibly rates going up. So we don't know where it's going, but we know for sure it's not going to be a significant rate cut, at least not until the end of the year. Another interesting trend we're looking at, especially in retail, the DFW market has been significantly low on vacancy for the last few years. We're still hovering around 5%, and that is great. But there is a sub-story hiding behind that statement. 5% on a market the size of DFW sounds great, but DFW is huge, and DFW has a lot of different asset classes within the market. So what we're seeing, and it's an interesting trend, we're seeing a split that is happening right now between the great properties, the quality, the newer property in the developing area, and the older property, the more dilapidated, the rougher areas of town. So the higher end properties, they're full. They're 100% full. They're not 95% full. They're 100% full with a waiting list. The rents are through the roof. In North Texas, we see things that are up to $47, $57. I've even seen $75 per square foot, plus the triple net. That's high-end retail. But we also see the older neighborhoods and the older shopping centers struggling, that they have more than 5% vacancy. They're having a harder time to find tenants, and that's because tenants are struggling in that area, or not a lot of businesses want to invest in those areas right now, given the economy. So that split between the two asset classes, that's a story that if you're not in the trenches, you can't see from the outside. But we're boots on the ground. We manage properties, we lease, we work with landlords and with tenants. So we see that in the field, and that's where that insight is coming from. Another thing that we always talk about when it comes to market movements is where do we see, how long does it take to lease a space? And over the last few months, we've seen the market speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. But on the average, we see about 15, 16 months for a retail lease to lease. Granted, this is average across the entire Metroplex, right? I've had spaces that we leased within 30 days, and I've had leases that's been on the market for 8 or 9 months, is still working through a contract. So it depends on the size of the space, depends on the quality of the shopping center. We're going to see a different amount of time that vacancy holds. Another question we always get asked is, how does retail compare to other asset classes in the market right now? And honestly, from our perspective, what we see in the field, retail is probably doing better than most of the other asset classes in the market. Multifamily has been struggling since the end of 2022, and they're still struggling. Industrial has slowed down. It's been very strong in the marketplace for the last, 10 years. But we see a little bit of a slowdown trying to absorb all that new construction that it's been built. Retail is still going strong. We talked about the separation of the two asset classes. Medical and office, there is a lot of building, and there is still a lot of catch up to do from COVID. So we see downtown office getting full. We know uptown Dallas is getting pretty much close to full right now, but the suburbs are still vacant. The suburbs still take a longer time to lease the vacant spaces, especially around medical and office. So that's really what's going on in the market. That's what we see these days. So what do we think is going to happen in the second half of Q2 and the rest of the year? We think that we're going to see a little bit more slowdown in activity, at least until the whole Iran war is going to clear up and people will see what's going on with oil, what's going on with energy, what's going on with the whole interest rate situation. So we'll see how that works out and plays. But for now, we're going to see a little bit more slowdown on the leasing activity. We're going to see a little bit more slowdown on the purchasing activities. But here's what I say. If you're in the market to buy a property right now, it's a great opportunity because you have a leverage. Those sellers, they realize that the interest rates went up and they are a little bit more flexible if they need to sell. So definitely an opportunity to talk to your advisors, talk to your CPA, talk to your bank. Can I get a loan? How's it going to look like? Will I be able to refinance if the market is going to dramatically change the interest rates? We still think it's a great opportunity to come in and buy. And if you're looking to buy or have a 1031 exchange, give us a call. We specialize in shopping centers and net lease properties in the DFW market, and we'll be happy to help you. I'm Joseph Goslan, your retail navigator for the Dallas-Fort Worth, founder of the Eureka Business Group. Leave us a comment in the video notes. We're happy to respond to every one of you guys. And make sure to give us a like or subscribe to the channel you're watching on. We're on every social media channel. And we'll see you in the next video. Hey,